Hey, yo, what up, though, fellas? Back at it again with another video. Because, we improving every day. Today, we're going to talk about a request that a longtime subscriber and true supporter of mine, Khalid Johnson, requested that I talk about. He asked if I could talk about what, quote-unquote, ectomorphs can do to cut or bulk, rather. He asked if I could talk about the training and the diet and nutrition. Now, I put the air quotes around ectomorph because I don't really believe in the somatotypes or the ecto, endo, and mesomorphs, because really anybody can be all three at different points in time. But that's a whole different discussion. So what should skinny guys do to cut or bulk? I'm going to talk about it in two different videos. Today, we're going to talk about bulking. I'm going to start with the nutrition, because that's going to be, the most lengthy part of the video. And then we'll talk about what you should be doing in the gym. So as far as diet and nutrition for the skinny guy to gain weight, and just to put in the context, I'm talking about your regular everyday person. I'm not talking about athletes or anything like that. Your regular person who just, you want to be fit and you want to look good while being fit and being able to perform and look good. The key is time. The key is having patience. I know that social media, fitness, and all these other mediums where you have guys who are on a lot of performance enhancing drugs, which, if that's their choice, that's their choice. That has demented the image of what bulking should look like to a drug-free lifter, right? They think that, I just need 6 months and I can transform myself from this to this. It's like, nah, bro, as a drug-free lifter, you need patience. We talking, having a year plan, a year and a half plan, might be 18-month plan, 12-month plan. What you want to do is accumulate weight, build mass slowly. You want to do it slowly. I'm highly against dirty bulking because I'm always health first. I care about my performance, my athletic ability, my strength, but my health is number one. Your health is number one to me. So I would never suggest dirty bulking, gaining 40 pounds in 3 months, gaining 50 pounds in 5 months. I would never suggest you do that. I suggest the slow route. It's very basic. It's not something that's going to get a lot of views. It's not something that's going to sell. I promote the basics. Find out your maintenance calories. You could do that on an online calculator. You can literally Google how to find maintenance calories, and it'll give you a bunch of different types of calculators that'll give you rough estimates. Download MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. Those are apps that'll let you track your eating, your calories and your macros, carbs, fats, proteins. Do that. Once you find your maintenance, what I suggest is a 10% calorie surplus. So let's say you find out that your maintenance calories is 2,000. I suggest eating in a 200 calorie surplus. In 10%. So if your maintenance is 2,200, add 220, simple math, right? That's what I suggest. Do that. Keep doing it. And eventually you will hit a wall. Not necessarily a wall, but you'll stop gaining mass at that same rate. After that, add a little bit more. So let's say you eat in a 200 calorie surplus for, let's just say six weeks or 8 weeks. Let's say 8 weeks, and you realize you stop gaining at the same rate. I would suggest just add some more calories. Add 50 more calories. Add 100 more calories. Nothing crazy. I'm not saying add a whole nother 200, but just, add another 50, add another 100. See where it gets you. You know what I'm saying? I suggest, in the beginning, a pound a week might be okay. I'm talking like the first 4 weeks, first 5 weeks. But you don't want to continuously just gain a pound every single week, because eventually your body is not going to just be putting on lean mass in combination with, parts of body fat. Eventually, if you're gaining a pound a week, it's going to start just being fat. So in the beginning, a pound a week is cool, but you want to get to a point where, maybe a half pound a week here and there. Because like I said, you want to take time with this so that you gain the least amount of fat as possible and gain the most muscle as possible. So the nutrition, the diet and nutrition is not complicated. Find your maintenance calories. You could do that on Google. Add a 10% surplus. Take that for a while. Eventually you'll stop gaining at the same rate. Add a little bit more. What you should be eating, once again, I promote basics. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge supporter of the basics. When you gain, you don't need as much protein as you think you do. First of all, a lot of platforms encourage these crazy high amounts of protein, really just to sell supplements. You know, they'll say you need 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, you know, stupid stuff like that. When you gain it, you don't need nearly as much protein. You will be good with 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I would say that's on the high end. That's on the high end. So that's your protein. A lot of people, you can't always prescribe the same calculation for, what is this lady doing? So there's a lady that's driving in the wrong lane of the street, like driving head on to my face. So that kind of threw me off. You can't prescribe everybody the same percentage of fats, you know, because some people do well on low fat. Some people need more closer to medium or even borderline high levels of fat to function. So I would say do some Googling, do some research, and do some testing. Find out how you feel on certain amounts of fats. I, for one, I do a very medium amount of fats when it comes to my caloric intake. And then all the rest, carbs. All the rest could be carbs. You know, like I said, basics, I promote your fruits, your vegetables. If you eat meat, lean meats, you know, your chicken, beef. I'm a big promoter of fish. If you eat fish, things like salmon, tuna, great. High protein. Salmon is very high in fat, omega-3s. Tuna, very high in protein. You can get a can of tuna for $1, and it's only like 90, 100 calories, and it's gonna be 20 grams of protein in it, you know. So and then other things, your grains, rice. I eat brown rice, whole grain breads, basics, bro. Like I said, basics. Now, the training aspect of bulking for the skinny guy. I suggest this for anybody. So it's not like I would say skinny guys do one thing and fat dudes do something else when they cutting. No, this is for everybody. You bulking, lift heavy weights. Lift heavy weights. Because one thing that I strongly dislike, or not that I dislike, but it makes me feel some type of way when I see drug-free guys, you know, trying to put on a lot of mass, or just anybody, and they waste a bunch of time doing a million different isolation movements. You know, they might do bench press. They kind of do squats, but when they do the squats, they don't really push it. They don't do the squats right because they're scared of injuring themselves or something crazy like that. A lot of them avoid deadlifts, or they do the deadlifts very light with very high reps, which is ironically how you injure yourself, but that could be another topic. They don't really do overhead presses, pull-ups, getting good at pull-ups, eventually adding weight, dips. They always do bench press, and then they do 20 different chest isolation movements. And it's like, bro, you wasting your time. As a drug-free lifter, I keep emphasizing that, drug-free, you bulking, you want to do your heavy compounds, bent over rows, deadlifts, overhead press, bench press, squat. I would throw in pull-ups. Once you get good at pull-ups, you can start adding weight. I would even add dips in there as mandatory. You want to get those in your training regimen every time you go in the gym. Then you want to throw in some of that accessory work. You know, so after you do your heavy squats, you might do 5 sets of 4, 5 sets of 3. You might do 5x5, 3x3, whatever kind of program you may look up on Google, or you may watch my videos in the future where I explain what I think novices should do for sets, reps, and percentage schemes. Whatever you have planned for that day, you get that heavy work out the way. You get that high intensity work out the way, and you do it because those are the movements that are going, first of all, work the most muscles in the body, number one, which means you're going to build the most muscle mass from those heavy compounds, you know, for a squat. You know, let's use the squat for example. A lot of dudes think, why do I need to do a squat if I could just do, you know, leg extension machine and a lion hamstring curl? Why do I even need to do squats? Well, because squats are going to stimulate almost every muscle in the body, strongly stimulate your legs, obviously, quads, hamstrings, glutes. It's even going to strengthen your upper back, strengthen your core. You understand what I'm saying? Your whole body. What those heavy compounds are going to do is prime the rest of your body. So after you do a squat, you're going to be nice and primed to then follow up with some accessory work. If you want to do leg extensions after you do the squats, perfect. Because those leg extensions will just add to the tonnage that you accumulate on the quads. You know, if you want to do a lion hamstring curl after your squats or after your deadlifts, cool. All that's going to do is add to the accumulated tonnage that you build on your hamstrings. You know, hip thrusts, whatever. Even I recommend the hip thrust to everybody, barbell hip thrust. I recommend that to everybody. I would consider that a heavy compound guy should be doing as well though. But basics, your heavy lifts, do those first. Then you throw in your secondary movements. And then you throw in your supplementary movements, your accessories. So it's not complicated. A lot of fitness mediums overcomplicate it, or they oversimplify it because they want to sell you stuff. They want to sell you a program, or they want to sell you a meal plan, or they want to sell you some supplements. You know what I'm saying? Stick to the basics. Just to summarize, when it comes to bulking for the skinny guy, find your maintenance. You can Google maintenance calorie calculator, figure it out. 10% deficit, 10% of your maintenance, add that on. That'll be your caloric surplus. After a while, continuously add just a little bit by little bit. You don't want to get fat. You see yourself in the mirror. If you notice that a certain surplus is a little bit much for you and you gaining a little bit more fat than you want to gain, cut them down just a little bit. Cut it down just a little bit. It takes time. You need patience. What should you be doing in the gym? Lifting heavy. Because that's going to stimulate the most muscle growth throughout your entire body. Last thing you want is to be a dude with big ass arms and no chest or no back and no legs. You know, you don't want to be that guy. Or a dude with a big ass chest and a completely flat back. You know what I'm saying? Some guys even have big ass legs and no upper body. So you don't want to have one of those weird combinations. You want to look good. You want to have good body composition. You want to look muscular, athletic. You want to relatively be equal to your upper and your lower body, you know, give or take some. So that's the topic for today, man. I'm not going to ramble because I could talk about this for 30 more minutes. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.